Hey guys, so I wanted to jump on here and do a quick video. Basically, last time I was talking about kind of the experience with my water breaking and having to have an emergency C-section. And like I said, the girls were born on Memorial Day. And just to talk a little bit more about that day, because the video earlier was kind of a little short. But basically, what happened was my water broke at 2:30 on Memorial Day, and I wasn't really feeling all that great that weekend. Like, I really started just feeling drained and tired and just couldn't get comfortable. I didn't really want to eat and didn't have much of an appetite. And I just thought that it was because the girls were getting a lot bigger and having the cesarean, and it was just physically draining my body. But really what was going on is I had E. coli for a while and I didn't know that I had it, and I was running a fever. So, like I said, we had to go into the hospital and we ended up having an emergency C-section, and our girls went straight to the NICU. They were in there for 69 days, and it was really rough. I mean, there was really no really no bad medical concerns that the girls were having. It was just basically, they couldn't breathe on their own, they couldn't eat on their own, so they were on the CPAP and the cannula and a feeding tube, for a little while. And I think Indy had a slight heart murmur, and they were able to, treat that with ibuprofen. So, I mean, the girls, all in all, I mean, they were fighters when they came into this world, and they just decided they were going to fight, and they were going to, show all their strength, and basically they were going to persevere and be strong, feisty little girls that they were. And we just want to thank everyone at Erlanger and the NICU that took care of our girls, all the doctors and the nurses. They did an amazing job. And without them, we may not have these two precious girls that we have now. So we are very appreciative of that. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about life with twins, because as you all know, it's not something you hear every day, that you're going to be expecting two little babies instead of one, especially after you've waited for 7 years to have one, and then you get that kind of news. So I just wanted to kind of run down a little bit of things that we go through with these girls, kind of our schedule, and some things that you may want to get to help your life a little bit easier, or make your life a little bit easier. And then I'm going to do some Q&As with my husband, and so all you ladies can get the perspective from, a dad's point of view or a husband's point of view. So here are our beautiful girls. We have Indy right here, and we've got Bella over there, and they are watching cartoons right now and playing. But so basically our schedule for now is the girls, they are sleeping through the night, but they are getting up to eat. Obviously not as much as they were. When we first brought them home, it was like ridiculous. We were getting up every 2 to 3 hours to feed. And I wasn't breastfeeding because I tried to pump, and I wasn't really getting a lot out because the girls came so early. And like I said, I was 27 weeks, so technically they weren't supposed to be here for another 3 months. And I didn't get that time to kind of bond with them to be able to, for my milk to kind of come out as it needed to. And even after I had them, I mean, I had to wait. It was like almost a week before I got to actually see them myself, because I kept running a fever and they wouldn't let me back there to see them. So it was really hard being that early in the pregnancy and having them and not being able to see them right after they were born for my milk to actually come in and, a large supply. So it was really only getting maybe 5 milliliters, if that, a day, and they were giving it to them with donor breast milk. So they did get breast milk for the first 2 months of their lives in the NICU. And then when we took them home, they were they were 2 months old. So they've been home for about 4 months now. And we've not had any scares or anything like that as far as their breathing or eating. They did have a little bit of issues eating at first, as far as like projectile vomiting. And Indy, she has acid reflux. So, she's on medication for that. And Bella had some concerns with like choking while she was like swallowing and just different things like that. But everything has seemed to work out for the best. We kind of just had to do like a trial and error on bottles and nipples and kind of determine which ones were the best for us. And for Indy, she takes the even flow bottles with the 4-flow nipple, and that works out pretty well because we have to thicken her bottles to like a honey consistency for her to be able to take it and not like projectile throw up. And Bella, she takes the Browns bottles, and they're on the nipples on a level 3 flow, and we thicken it too, not as much as Indy's, but we have to thicken hers a little bit so it doesn't come out so like watery when she's drinking it. But they do pretty good on those bottles and with that flow. So if you aren't aware, there are nipples out there that are different flow. There's the one that's kind of a slow, flow, and then you can move up, because I know I was like cutting nipples on bottles because I was like, this crap's not working, and they're throwing it up when it's too, when it has no cereal in it or no rice. So definitely play around with it, order nipples online, do whatever you need to do as far as getting them, the right consistency when they're trying to eat, because it will make your life so much better. And some more things I would recommend is gripe water. It is like a necessity in our home. Our girls take it every flipping night because without it they don't sleep. But it is amazing. It helps with colic, gas, fussiness, and it's not anything bad. It's all pretty much natural products and organic, so it's not anything that's going to harm them. What else? That's really all I can think of as far as like making your life a little bit easier. Right now they are teething, so we're doing like the teething tablets and doing a little bit of Tylenol here and there, and that's helping also with that. But as far as their schedule, they normally, like I said, they wake up. Indy wakes up maybe once or twice at night just to eat, and Bella wakes up like 50,000 times a night just to take a bottle, and she literally has to have her pacifier or her bottle in her mouth like all night long to sleep. So you definitely
she's under daddy's.
Yeah, she definitely gets you get the best of both worlds with twins, because you get one that's perfect and one that drives you freaking crazy, and then the next week it's going to switch. So it's never something consistent that one's going to be a specific way the whole time, like they're going to switch. So it's really funny, but that's how it is. The girls are 6 months now, so they are cutting teeth. They are babbling a lot. They haven't really said any real words, but they are saying da. So I assume they're trying to get daddy out. And then Bella did say ma. So hopefully she's trying to get mama out. But most of the time it's just I good. That's pretty much all we can hear out of them. And But they're doing pretty good, and they normally wake up around 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, and they wake up and they like to play on their little play mats like they have here. I normally just get them straight, from their crib or their um, bassinet, or if they're in the bed with us, we get them out, and we normally just put them on the play mat, and then from there they watch cartoons, and then they eat their baby food, and then they normally take a little bit of a bottle, and then they're down for a nap, and then they play, and pretty much this process repeats about 2 to 3 times a day until it's time for them to go to bed. But they do pretty good like that. We have started trying to put them in their cribs, so that's a struggle all on its own. But they do really good about falling asleep there. But a lot of times we'll have to end up getting them and putting them in the bed with us, or putting them in their bassinets, because they were sleeping in their bassinets up until this point. So it's definitely, something you're going to have to work at, just like potty training any child. I mean, it's going to take time. You're just going to have to be patient and, just keep working at it, and eventually they'll sleep in their own bed. But as long as we get them to sleeping in their bed comfortably by the time they're 1, then I'll be happy. So, I mean, we got 6 more months to work on that. So I think we'll be doing pretty good. But I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to go ahead and do a few questions and answers from the lovely husband. Right here he is. And so first question would be, what is it like having twins from the daddy's perspective?
Oh, goodness. Well, it's definitely challenging at times. I think it's good to have a good support system. I mean, me and Amanda, we get a lot of help from our family. We've come down with a routine to where we can actually work together and help each other. And let me point this a little closer to me. Like at nighttime, especially at first, it was very hard because, me and Amanda for 7 years, it was just me and her. So whenever we got sleepy and wanted to go to bed, we go to bed. And now it's, we work around these girls' schedule. We nap around their schedule. We go out and do things around their schedule. By the way, this is little Bella. She's a daddy's girl. Say hi, Bella. Say hi, Bella. Say, I'm watching Curious George with my daddy. But, we do everything around the girls' schedule now. So that took a little bit of adjustment to get used to, because me and Amanda were just used to kind of going with the flow and doing whatever it was we wanted to do on a daily basis. It was nothing for us to hop in the car on a Saturday morning and drive 3 hours away and just for the heck of it. Now it's like we've got the girls, and as you can tell, it's colder weather here in Tennessee. I think it's supposed to get down to like the teens tonight. So it's not really practical weather to get, 6-month-old babies, preemie babies at that. Out in this type of weather. And so I think the most challenging part, like I said, was just coming up with a routine, coming up with, just kind of like a day-to-day routine. And but all in all, it's not been bad. We have definitely been blessed with really good girls. They've got a really good sleep pattern. Like my wife was saying earlier in the video, Indy wakes up usually once, maybe twice a night for a bottle. This one here, Daddy's girl, she wakes up pretty regularly throughout the night to eat. I think she's going to be our little chunker. But she's a daddy's girl. Usually I'll put her up in bed with us and snuggle up with her, and within 10 minutes or so she's right back to sleep, and we'll sleep for hours. So she's definitely the spoiled one. She likes to snuggle and she loves to eat. But yeah, I think that's the most challenging part thus far, as far as being a dad to twins is just coming up with a routine. I mean, because like I said, for 7 years it was me and my wife. I mean, I have a son from a previous relationship, and we get him, every other weekend. I have joint custody of him, so, we get him on a fairly regular basis, but for the most part, it's just me and my wife here before the babies came along. And, it just took some getting used to. It's very, if you just imagine, I'm sure some of you guys that's watching this video has, and maybe you haven't, struggled with infertility, but after you try so hard, you get kind of used to being empty nesters, so to speak, and you get in the, like I said, you just get in a routine of it just being you and your wife, or you and your, husband, and you get used to kind of doing whatever you want to do. So I think, like I said, just them being here was kind of an adjustment. It was don't get me wrong, it was a great blessing. It is a great blessing, but it just took some getting used to, working around these little guys' schedules. But yeah, what's the next question there, lovely?
Okay, so the next question will be, what is your sex life with twins? OMG.
Oh, Lord. Well, sex life with twins, I'm going to be honest with you. Little Miss Indy is a little cock block. That's right, I said it. She it's almost like she knows whenever Daddy and Mommy, here we go. Whenever Daddy and Mommy decide to try to get it in, so to speak, she does not like that, because she almost always will wake up out of a dead sleep, or she will she just always knows. She just always knows. She knows that Mommy and Daddy are doing something that she's not agreeing with, and she lets us know that she doesn't want us doing that. But I'll be honest with you, on a more serious note, I feel like mine and my wife's life, or sex life, it's a lot more passionate now, because we share something that we never shared before. I mean, we've got 2 baby girls, and we all are adults. We all know how these baby girls were made. So I guess from a man's standpoint, or from a husband's standpoint, it's more passionate to me whenever me and my wife, make love with each other. It's more meaningful now, and not that it wasn't before. I mean, it should always be meaningful whenever whenever you're in love with your wife or your spouse and you make love. I mean, it should always be meaningful, but it's hard to explain. It's different now, but you definitely have to work around, again, their schedule, because you obviously can't, run to the bedroom and do it whenever they're in here cooing like Indy's doing now. She knows that Mommy and Daddy are talking about something that we probably shouldn't be talking about. But it's it's different. I mean, obviously it's going to be different. I mean, there's 2 babies in here. I mean, it's not like it's non-existent. In fact, I think we have sex just as much as we did before they came along. It's just it's more passionate, and it's more meaningful, and it's a lot quicker now. it's a whole lot quicker now. But yeah. Next question, dear. Mommy's shy now.
That's all the questions I can think of right now, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty later on. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment, and we'll definitely try to answer your question to the best of our ability. But yeah, here is our little Bella. Dottie and Bella.
Say, I'm not as loud as my sister.
Hello. Her name is Riley Isabella Rain. See, but I go by Bella. And then here is Loudmouth. Here, let me see. That's a little Indy. You gonna talk to him? Her name is Willow Indiana June. And she goes by Indy. But yeah, that so far is life with twins. And then here is Daddy-O.
I will add, guys, that, at first, I'll be honest with you, whenever I found out that me and my wife were having twins, it was definitely not expected. We were on the NuvaRing. I'm sure my wife, if you followed her in some of her earlier videos, we were not actively trying to have babies at all at the time. We were actually pursuing adoption. We were fostering a little girl who we hoped to adopt, and at the last minute the adoption fell through, and very shortly after we found out on New Year's Eve this year, 2018, that we were pregnant with this one here and that one there. And, I'll be honest, guys, this is the greatest blessing. I love all three of my children more than anything, more than life itself. I mean, I would do anything in the world for all three of my children. But as a dad, there's a different type of love that, Ryan, my son, he's like a mini me. I mean, the kid is just like me. And there's no denying him, that's for sure. But there's just a different type of love that a dad feels for baby girls. So all you dads out there that may or may not see this video, if you're worried about having, little girls or don't want little girl, like my brother personally, him and his wife are expecting a baby here in just a couple weeks. They're having a little boy, and he already has another little boy. Two little boys. So he don't want little girls. And it's funny, I was talking to him earlier this evening. We went and had dinner with them, and I told him, he was kind of looking over at Indy, and I told him, I said, you need you a little girl, don't you? And he said, oh hell no, he don't want he don't want little girls. But it's not bad, guys. The bond that I have, and they're only 6 months old. The bond that I have with my two baby girls is just, it's unbelievable. It's unreal. I mean, and just the fact that I'm sitting here holding them, sharing this story with you guys is a miracle in itself. I'll never forget the day that my wife gave birth to them on Memorial Day. The doctor came in and asked me if I was a Christian man, and I said, yes, ma'am, I am. And she's probably not much older than me. She was a younger girl. And she said, sir, it was by the grace of God that your wife's water broke. Excuse me, that Chinese food's getting to me. She said, sir, it was by the grace of God that your water broke when it did. She said that had your wife's water not broke, that, it would have been detrimental. I mean, her infection had turned septic, and luckily it hadn't made itself to her bloodstream yet. We'd caught it just in time. And miraculously both babies were healthy. They were tiny. I mean, they were 2 pounds each. But, as you can see, it didn't take them no time to plump up.
So 11-pounders.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going on, well, their last doctor's appointment, they were a half an ounce apart. So, I think, was it Indy or Bella that weighed?
Indy here, she weighs 11 pounds.
0.5 ounces.
No, she's 11, 1 ounce.
Okay,
so,
and then she's the 0.5 ounce. So she's 11 pounds, 0.5. This is as of last doctor's appointment, which was, I guess, a week and a half ago now. but yeah, I mean, being a father to two twin baby girls, being a father to boys, girls. It's to me that's the greatest experience. It's the greatest blessing I could ever ask for. I mean, my wife and my kids mean the absolute everything to me. And I'll be honest with you, as you can see, read my shirt. I served 6.5 years as a military police officer in the United States Army. I did one tour overseas. I spent 15 months in Kuwait / Afghanistan. I was kind of back and forth between Kuwait and Afghanistan. I'll be honest with you, I thought at that point in my life, and there's a lot of things that my wife doesn't know that I would never in a million years ever share with her, that I don't share with anybody, my mom, anybody, that I've seen and done and witnessed. And with all that being said, up until these babies came, I thought I would never, or up until this pregnancy, let's just say that, I thought I would never experience or be, I guess, as scared, you can say, as I was the day that my wife gave birth. But, as a Christian man, God had his hand on my wife and my girls, and he had a plan for them the whole entire time. And, guys, if you're, I don't ever push religion on anybody or anything, but if you're not a believer, our story will make you a believer. I mean, these girls are miracles, and I just, like I said, I just wanted to get on here and kind of give my point of view, a more serious point of view, and just kind of let you know how I feel about my girls and and the whole pregnancy and everything. All right, guys, I guess that's a wrap. I'm going to get off here. My wife's doing this number to me. I think that means she's ready for me to shut up. So, like my wife said, if you have any questions, comments, guys, if you have any questions for me, or, girls, if you have any questions for my wife about the pregnancy or anything, feel free to comment. We will be doing more videos and, of the girls and, kind of like their day-to-day life, our day-to-day life. Just feel free to, shoot us some comments if you have any questions or concerns or anything. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, so in the next video, we will be doing what life was like with your children in the NICU. And we will also be doing what to expect your babies to be doing at 6 months as a preemie baby. So just watch out for those videos, and we'll talk to you later. Say bye. Tell them bye, Indy. Say bye. Tell them bye, Bella.
Say peace out, folks. Say peace.
Bye.